to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncers' guilt rings.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV, delighted to be joined by Mr. Russ Anber. First things first, Russ, it was a body shot.
You know it wasn't. You know it wasn't.
But we're here in Manchester. I won't talk about that, but you've done an interview with Umar, so you said your piece. I will get you, at the end of the interview, I'll get your thoughts on it again, because there's been a lot of, it's a talking point anyway, but we're here in Manchester for a reason. Liam Smith, the rematch with Chris Eubank Jr. You've worked with Liam on numerous occasions, man. How's he looking?
Well, listen, first of all, I can't express to you how wonderful it is to keep being involved in local matchups. Wherever I am in the world, especially in Canada, it's very popular. Being here in the UK, the same thing. Local rivalries have the vibe of a world championship fight. And that's what boxing is all about. And that's what boxing was when I got started in it. It's the local rivalries. And the fact that there can be this much excitement in a rematch, in a fight that ended abruptly and quickly in 4 rounds is quite amazing. That's the love that the people have for these two fighters. So it's really great to be part of it. And of course, Liam is Liam. And I'll tell you, Andrew, what I've told Sky Sports, I've told everybody. In my opinion, they should be broadcasting Liam's fight in black and white, because he's a throwback guy who should have been fighting in the 50s and 60s. That's the kind of fighter he is, and that's the energy that he brings to a fight.
Ross, I love your energy, man. I really, really do. Because you're in the fight game. You do the cuts, you do the hand wraps, you got your rival. You know what I mean? You are in the fight game, and you're well known in the fight game. But you might not be in front of the camera, but you are an energetic. You love the sport more than most, which is a great thing. So you probably know the sport better than most.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So when it comes to Liam Smith and the rematch, and obviously you mentioned how quick it was like that abruptly. Chris Eubank's now changed trainer to Bomac. Bomac's now the trainer of Terence Crawford. For people that don't know, is that going to make a difference in this one?
I don't know if the Bomac factor is going to be the difference. I think if he'd have stayed with Roy, there would have been a difference anyways, because he learned from that fight. I think he genuinely thought that 50% of Chris Eubank was going to be enough for Liam Smith, and he realized that that's not really the case. So he's a smart guy. He's been a pro for a long time. He knows he has to adjust, and he knows the guy he has in front of him is a dangerous man. So as a fighter and as a man, he will make those adjustments regardless of who the trainer is. So I am expecting to see a different Chris Eubank, someone more cautious, someone who's going to want to fight his fight instead of thinking he can do whatever he wants, which is really what he felt like in the first fight, that he could do whatever he wanted with Beefy, and he realized that he couldn't.
Well, I look at the rankings. For me, Beefy's ranked in 3 governing bodies: 2 at 154, 1 at 160. At 160 is the WBO number 2 behind Gennady Golovkin. For you know him very well, Liam. Is his best weight at 160? Because for me, outside looking in, I think he's strong at 160, and I think he can make a force and become a 2-weight world champion at this weight.
Andrew, I'm sorry, and I know this goes against the grain sometimes, but I would prefer a smaller, happy, stronger, energetic fighter than to have somebody trying to sap their weight to get down to a lower weight class and suffer and do whatever damage they do to their body. So for me, looking at Liam, looking what his walk-around weight is, looking at his size, the way he fights, the tenacity, the energy that he brings, and how he can break you down, make 160 no problem, and let's go. Let's do it at 160, no problem.
I mean, I'm absolutely buzzing for this fight, man. It's got that a throwback feel to it, man. You've got 2 well-skilled fighters, and that is very, very good, and I'm buzzing for it. But I want to go back to last weekend. Did you think after the aftermath at the arena, the post-fight press conference, it was a talking point? But it's Wednesday, and it's still a talking point. This low blow from music. It's divided. You pulled up Johnny Nelson, I saw, but I told you he thought it was a legitimate shot. Yeah. You pulled him up a little bit. Are you surprised at how it's divided the boxing fraternity?
Yeah, I'm surprised, and I'm a little bit shocked, especially with somebody like Johnny, because I expect him to know what it's like to be a fighter. And there's no evidence supporting whatsoever that the punch was an illegal blow. I mean, there's not. I don't understand. That's what's bothering the most. That's what's short-circuiting my brain is we're presenting you with the evidence that says this is black, and you're saying, no, it's white. No, it's black. No, doesn't matter. That's what's bothering me the most. I mean, you can say what you want. Belt line. You hit the groin guard. The groin guard is not meant to be hit. If ever fights have gone on where the groin guard has been hit and the referee hasn't done anything, it's the referee who's done the bad job. The punch wasn't legal. So there's nobody who's been in boxing. Since you start, they tell you the legal scoring area is this and that's your cutoff. The navel is your cutoff. Everybody in boxing knows this. The fact that you can argue that point is just insanity. That's what's making me more crazy that we show it to you and no, it's okay. It goes good.
It is a lot of fighters that have been in the sport. Johnny Nelson, Spencer Oliver, Frank Warren. He's been in the sport a long time. But Frank Warren, Frank is this fighter, right? Yeah. But you know what I mean? It's been a talking point. I think it's going to be a talking point. Like Chris Eubank's elbow gate. I think it's always going to be a talking point in boxing, whether you win, lose, or draw.
But somebody seems to give it that momentum, like the elbow thing. Let's say a forearm or elbow did land. It was after you were already hurt. It wasn't the blow which you were perfect and he came at you with a flying elbow drop off the top rope. We look for these things and then we seem to perpetuate them and people buy into it and believe it. I guess it's the old saying that you throw enough on the wall and something eventually sticks, and that seems to be...
The age of social media as well.
That's what it appears to be, Andrew. That's what it appears to be. And I think coming from an old school and being around this long, whenever you see in sport, whenever there's a replay, nobody ever contests after the referees have reviewed something. Usually everyone agrees and says, yeah, we trust the visual on this. We agree, we have the technology. Now even when you show them, no, didn't happen. We didn't see it that way. Please, it's insane.
I want to go back to this fight then, because that's Chris Eubank back in the ring there. Back to this fight, what happened Saturday night?
Look, I think we're going to see what we usually see from a Liam Smith, and I think we're going to see what we expected to see from Eubank. And I think the tenacity and the breakdown and that heart and determination of Beefy coming down the stretch like a racehorse, I think is what makes the difference in the fight. I'll be surprised if we get a quick ending again because I think Chris has adopted, but I think we're going to see vintage Liam Smith coming down the stretch and really breaking a fighter down like he's done his whole career.
Russ, as always, a pleasure, big man. Always love speaking to you, mate, and I'll catch you during the week.
I appreciate it, Russ. Thank you.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you.
To not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,